Picture this, if you will. A sun-drenched Saturday morning, the innocent, joyful symbol of childhood entrepreneurship. A little girl's lemonade stand, painstakingly decorated with hand-drawn lemons and wobbly lettering, set up with hopeful pride on her own front lawn. Now imagine that stand, that tiny beacon of youthful ambition, being systematically, brutally destroyed. Not by a rogue storm, not by mischievous teens, but by the self-appointed guardian of neighborhood order, the HOA president himself, his face a mask of petty rage as he smashes it to splinters, while a megaphone blares accusations that the little girl's mother is a bad parent for encouraging such illegal, unsightly business. This wasn't a scene from some over-the-top comedy, folks. This was the horrifying reality that crashed down upon Janelle Foster and her 7-year-old daughter Lily in the supposedly family-friendly enclave of Willow Creek Springs. And let me tell you, your blood is about to boil. Janelle Foster, a woman in her late 30s with a warm smile and eyes that sparkled with intelligence, was, to all outward appearances, a typical loving mom. She had recently moved into a pleasant, modest home in Willow Creek Springs, with Lily hoping for a quiet, supportive community where her daughter could thrive. Lily, bright-eyed and brimming with 7-year-old enthusiasm, had come up with the idea for the lemonade stand all on her own. "Mommy," she'd said, her face alight with excitement, "I want to sell lemonade and cookies and save up for a new bike." Janelle, a staunch believer in nurturing her daughter's initiative, had helped Lily gather supplies, paint a colorful sign reading, "Lily's Amazing Lemonade, 50 cents. Key, and set up a small card table under the shade of their oak tree. The lemonade was freshly squeezed, the cookies homemade. It was a picture of pure, wholesome Americana. For the first hour, it was idyllic. A few friendly neighbors stopped by, charmed by Lily's earnest sales pitch, leaving with lemonade and a smile. Lily's little coin jar was starting to fill. And then Mr. Roger Sterling, president of the Willow Creek Springs Homeowners Association, arrived. Roger Sterling was a man whose personality seemed to be permanently stuck in a state of pinched disapproval. He was a self-important busybody, a petty tyrant who wielded the HOA bylaws like a medieval mace, deriving a perverse sense of power from making other people miserable. He spotted Lily's lemonade stand from across the street, and his face, already sour, curdled further. An unauthorized commercial enterprise. On his watch. By these people, the horror! He marched across the street, his chest puffed out, a look of grim determination on his face. "Excuse me, madam," he barked at Janelle, who had just come out to bring Lily a fresh pitcher of lemonade. "What is the meaning of this? This illegal street vending operation?" Janelle, though taken aback by his aggressive tone, smiled politely. "Good morning, Mr. Sterling. It's just my daughter Lily's lemonade stand. She's trying to earn some money for a new bicycle." "Lemonade stand?" Roger scoffed, eyeing the small table with disdain. "This is a clear violation of HOA Bylaw 17, subsection D, paragraph 3, prohibiting unauthorized commercial activities on residential properties. This eyesore is a detriment to neighborhood aesthetics and a potential traffic hazard." He actually puffed out his cheeks. Can you imagine? A little girl's lemonade stand, a traffic hazard? The man was certifiable. "Mr. Sterling," Janelle began, her voice calm but firm, "I believe a child's lemonade stand on her own property hardly constitutes an illegal commercial operation. It's a time-honored childhood tradition." "Tradition?" Roger sneered. "Tradition doesn't trump bylaws, Ms. Foster. This shanty must be dismantled immediately, or you will face significant fines." He then did something so contemptible, so utterly beyond the pale, it still makes my blood boil just thinking about it. He reached out, grabbed Lily's carefully painted sign, snapped it in two over his knee, and tossed the pieces onto the grass. Lily burst into tears, her small body shaking with sobs. Janelle rushed to comfort her daughter, her own face a mask of stunned disbelief and rising fury. But Roger Sterling, folks, was just getting warmed up. He seemed to relish the cruelty. Seeing Lily's tears, Janelle's distress, only fueled his petty power trip. He actually retrieved a megaphone from the trunk of his golf cart. Yes, he patrolled the neighborhood in a golf cart, like some tin pot dictator of a miniature fiefdom. And then he began to publicly berate Janelle. "Attention, Willow Creek Springs!" His amplified voice blared, echoing through the quiet street. "This woman, Janelle Foster, is openly defying our community rules. She is teaching her child to engage in illegal business practices. She is a bad parent, a blight on our neighborhood, encouraging this filth." He actually called Lily's lemonade stand filth. The man had no soul. A few of Roger's equally charming HOA cronies and some nosy, judgmental neighbors gathered, drawn by the commotion. Some smirked, some whispered, "That stand was a bit messy, wasn't it?" "Roger's right, really. We have standards here." The cowardice, the casual cruelty of it all was breathtaking. Janelle stood there shielding her sobbing daughter, her heart aching with a mixture of rage and profound sadness. The next day, an official HOA letter arrived, citing Janelle for operating an unlicensed business, creating a public nuisance, and displaying an unauthorized structure. It included a demand for an immediate fine of $500 and a stern warning of further legal action, including liens on her property, if the offending structure, Lily's now broken lemonade stand, which Janelle had sadly packed away, ever reappeared. But the public humiliation wasn't over. Roger, or one of his allies, posted a video on the Willow Creek Springs community Facebook page. It was a selectively edited clip of Janelle, looking understandably upset, trying to reason with Roger during his megaphone tirade, intercut with shots of Lily crying beside her broken stand. The caption read, "Disruptive resident Janelle Foster refuses to follow rules, encourages child in illegal activity, becomes aggressive when confronted." Is this the kind of element we want in Willow Creek? Keep Willow Creek orderly, HOA enforcement, protect our kids from bad influences like this. The comments section was a sewer of racist innuendo, classist attacks, and gleeful support for Roger's thuggery. Some neighbors, truly embracing the spirit of community hate, even took to throwing their empty, broken soda cups and fast food wrappers into Janelle's yard overnight. Through this all, Janelle Foster, after comforting her heartbroken daughter and assuring her that they were not the ones in the wrong, reacted with a chilling, almost unnerving calm. She meticulously documented everything: the broken stand, the threatening letters, every hateful post and comment on the community Facebook page. Screenshots, folks, are your best friend in these situations. She even managed to get a clear recording of Roger's delightful megaphone performance on her phone's voice memo app. Her face, when she reviewed this mounting pile of evidence, was not one of despair, but of a cold, calculating focus. She made a few quiet phone calls. Her voice, when she spoke to the unseen parties on the other end, was not that of a harassed single mother, but of someone accustomed to commanding attention, to outlining strategies, to expecting results. "Yes," she'd say, her tone low and professional. "I need a full corporate and financial workup on the Willow Creek Springs Homeowners Association, including its current board members, its management company, and any declared assets. And Arthur, I think it's time to prepare a preliminary draft for tortious interference with a minor's educational business activity, add defamation, slander, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Oh, and let's not forget violations of the Fair Housing Act based on discriminatory practices. This one, Arthur, this one is personal, but it's also business." Roger Sterling, meanwhile, was preening. He felt he had won a great victory for community standards. He had crushed the illegal lemonade operation. He had put that uppity Janelle Foster in her place. He even announced with great fanfare the upcoming Willow Creek Springs Annual Community Fair and Family Bake-Off, a celebration, he declared, of good, old-fashioned, rule-abiding family fun. He had no idea, absolutely no clue, that Janelle Foster, the woman whose daughter's lemonade stand he had so callously destroyed, was not just a quiet resident. She was Janelle Lemon Glow Foster, the billionaire CEO and founder of Lemon Glow Beverages, one of the largest and most beloved lemonade and natural juice companies in the world. And she was about to turn his little community fair into the main stage for a product launch and a public relations counteroffensive that would make his head spin right off his self-important shoulders. Oh, Roger, you thought you were dealing with a small-time operator. You were about to find out you'd picked a fight with the entire lemonade industry. And the forecast for your future? Decidedly sour, with a 100% chance of epic public humiliation. Get your umbrellas ready, folks. This storm is going to be a doozy. The threatening letter from the Crestwood Meadows HOA demanding the dismantling of Lily's beloved lemonade stand and the payment of a ludicrous $20,000 fine lay on Janelle Foster's kitchen table like a declaration of war. Little Lily, her eyes still red from crying over her smashed sign and the hateful words shouted by Mr. Roger Sterling, looked at her mother with heartbreaking worry. "Mommy," she whispered, "are we going to lose our house? Is it because of my lemonade?" Janelle pulled her daughter into a fierce hug, her heart aching with a mother's protective fury, yet her voice was calm, reassuring. "Oh no, sweet pea," she said softly, stroking Lily's hair. "Absolutely not. Your lemonade was wonderful, the best in the world. And no one, especially not a bully like Mr. Sterling, is going to take our home or stop you from dreaming big. Sometimes, Lily, grown-ups act very, very foolishly. But that's their problem, not yours. And Mommy knows how to deal with foolish grown-ups." A glint of something hard and unyielding flashed in Janelle's eyes. A look Lily was too young to understand, but one that would have given Roger Sterling nightmares had he seen it. To Roger Sterling's smug satisfaction, Janelle Foster appeared to capitulate. At least that's what he chose to believe. She didn't immediately challenge the fine. She didn't rebuild the lemonade stand. She sent a very brief, very polite email to the HOA board. "Your communication regarding Bylaw 17 and the matter of my daughter's temporary recreational refreshment stand has been received. I am currently reviewing your concerns and will take appropriate measures to ensure compliance with all legitimate community standards by the stipulated deadline." "See?" Roger crowed to his HOA cronies, waving Janelle's email like a captured enemy flag. "I told you, apply enough pressure, and these people fold. She knows she can't fight us. That $20,000 fine probably scared the living daylights out of her. She'll be packing her bags and her little delinquents business venture before the week is out." He was on cloud nine, the conquering hero of Crestwood Springs, vanquisher of a 7-year-old's lemonade stand. What a man. What a victory. The narrator might add here, with a hefty dose of sarcasm, "Oh, Roger, you magnificent, clueless buffoon. You think you've won. You think you've scared her. You have absolutely no idea, do you? You're like a chihuahua barking at a sleeping lioness. It's almost adorable in a catastrophically stupid kind of way." While Roger Sterling was busy polishing his HOA president medal, probably self-awarded, Janelle Foster was busy, but not in the way he imagined. Her home became a quiet hub of focused activity. There were no packing boxes. Instead, there were discreet deliveries from high-end caterers for her own meals, as her beloved outdoor kitchen was still a biohazard zone thanks to Roger's pals. There were long, hushed conference calls, not with real estate agents, but with sharp-voiced individuals who used terms like tortious interference, defamation per se, punitive damages, and brand integrity. This was Arthur Pembroke, Janelle's lead counsel, and his team of legal sharks, meticulously building a case that would not just sting Roger Sterling, but potentially dismantle his entire petty kingdom. And then there were the other calls to her head of marketing at Lemon Glow Beverages, one of the largest, most beloved, and most aggressively innovative lemonade and natural juice companies in the world. "Yes, Cynthia," Janelle would say, her voice crisp and authoritative, a world away from the quiet, harassed mother Roger Sterling thought he knew. "The Willow Creek Springs Community Fair. It's next Saturday. I need our new Lily Sunshine Sparkle prototype line ready for a major grassroots launch. Full branding, the new state-of-the-art mobile pop-up kiosk, the one with the interactive screens, our top brand ambassadors, the really charismatic ones. And yes, free samples for everyone. Floods of them. I want that fair swimming in lemon glow. Oh, and Cynthia, see if you can get a permit for a bouncy castle. A really, really big one. Kids love bouncy castles. Her daughter Lily, initially heartbroken, slowly began to catch her mother's quiet, confident excitement. Janelle didn't tell her the whole plan, but she did involve her in designing the logo for Lily's Sunshine Sparkle, a logo that, unbeknownst to Lily, was already being mocked up by Lemon Glow's award-winning design team. "See, sweetie," Janelle would say, "sometimes when bullies break something small, it just gives you a chance to build something even bigger and better." The harassment in Crestwood Springs, however, hadn't entirely ceased. Roger, emboldened by Janelle's apparent silence, felt the need to keep twisting the knife. More anonymous trash accidentally found its way onto Janelle's lawn. The whispers and glares continued. He even tried to get the city to issue a citation against her for improperly stored play equipment, Lily's tricycle on their own porch. The city inspector, who came out, a weary-looking woman, took one look at Roger's apoplectic face, then at Janelle's calm, polite explanation, rolled her eyes and told Roger not to waste her time. A small victory, but it only made Roger more determined to win at the upcoming community fair. He promoted the fair with a vengeance. Flyers appeared everywhere. "Come one, come all, to the Willow Creek Springs Annual Community Fair and Family Bake-Off, a celebration of good, old-fashioned, all-American, rule-abiding family fun." The emphasis was all his. He even announced, with a particularly nasty glint in his eye, a special Best Homemade Lemonade contest for children under 12, with a grand prize donated by your loving HOA president. He made sure Janelle received a personal invitation to the fair, with a smarmy, handwritten note at the bottom. "Perhaps your daughter would like to enter her award-winning lemonade, assuming she can find a table that meets community standards, of course." The man was practically a cartoon villain. Janelle read the note, a slow, dangerous smile spreading across her face. "Oh, Roger," she murmured to herself, "you have no idea what you've just invited to your little party." And the night before the fair, Janelle seemed to retreat entirely. Her house was quiet, lights off early. Roger, doing his nightly security patrol in his golf cart, peered at her darkened windows with satisfaction. "See?" he muttered to his equally unpleasant wife, Betsy, who was riding shotgun. "She's finally given up. No, she's beaten. Tomorrow this fair will be a triumph, a testament to my leadership in keeping this community pure." Betsy nodded vaguely, more interested in the latest neighborhood gossip on her phone. The audience at this point should be practically screaming at their screens. They know Janelle is not beaten. They know she's a powerhouse. They've seen the hints, the legal calls, the lemon glow preparations. They are desperate for the takedown. The injustice against Lily, the sheer, unadulterated cruelty of destroying a child's lemonade stand and then rubbing salt in the wound with a lemonade contest, is almost unbearable. The desire for Roger Sterling to get his comeuppance is at an absolute fever pitch. Saturday morning dawned bright and sunny, a perfect day for a community fair, or, as it would soon be known, a perfect day for a corporate hostile takeover, lemonade style. Roger Sterling was in his element, resplendent in a too-tight polo shirt with the Willow Creek Springs HOA logo embroidered over his heart. He bustled about, barking orders, glad-handing residents, playing the benevolent lord of the manor. The HOA's own stall was a rather pathetic affair. A wobbly table laden with a few anemic-looking cupcakes, some lukewarm coffee in a thermos, and a pitcher of what looked suspiciously like powdered lemonade. Oh, the irony. Janelle Foster was nowhere to be seen. Roger permitted himself a smug, satisfied smirk as he surveyed his domain. He had won. He had protected his community from the lemonade menace. And then they arrived. Not in a battered old station wagon, not with a humble card table. Oh no. First came the sound, a low, powerful rumble. Then, turning the corner onto the park's access road, came a fleet. 3 sleek, gleaming, custom-wrapped lemon glow beverages promotional vans, their sides emblazoned with vibrant images of smiling children, sun-drenched lemon groves, and the tagline, "Lemon Glow, Taste the Sunshine." Behind them, an enormous, state-of-the-art mobile pop-up kiosk, a marvel of marketing engineering, unfolded itself like a transformer, revealing a gleaming multi-tap lemonade bar, interactive video screens, and a sound system already beginning to pump out upbeat, family-friendly music. Professional, charismatic brand ambassadors in crisp, bright yellow lemon glow uniforms began to set up, unfurling banners, arranging displays of every lemon glow product imaginable, and, most notably, setting up a massive, incredibly inviting Lily's Sunshine Sparkle Free Lemonade Today station right at the main entrance to the fair, directly opposite Roger's pathetic little HOA table. Roger Sterling stopped dead in his tracks, his jaw unhinging. His eyes bulged. He stared at the Lemon Glow Armada, then at the rapidly assembling, professional, high-energy setup that was already drawing a massive, excited crowd of children and their parents. "What? What in the Sam Hill is this?" he sputtered, his face turning a dangerous shade of purple. Who, who authorized this circus? This isn't a local vendor. This is a corporate invasion." He started to march towards the Lemon Glow setup, his fists clenched, ready to unleash his full HOA presidential fury. And then, from the door of the lead Lemon Glow promotional van, stepped Janelle Foster. She was no longer the quiet, casually dressed mother from Willow Lane. She was transformed. She wore a sharply tailored lemon yellow power suit that radiated confidence and authority. Her hair and makeup were flawless. She was flanked by two very large, very professional-looking security personnel, her own, not Roger's rent-a-thugs, and a woman with a clipboard and an earpiece who was clearly her head of PR. Janelle Foster, CEO of Lemon Glow Beverages, had arrived at the Willow Creek Springs Community Fair, and she was holding a microphone. She looked directly at the apoplectic, sputtering Roger Sterling, and that small, dangerous smile was back, wider this time, and infinitely more terrifying. "Mr. Sterling!" Her voice, amplified by her own professional sound system, boomed across the fairgrounds, drowning out the HOA's sad little transistor radio. "So glad you could make it to our little product launch. We were just about to make an announcement, and you, sir, are going to want to hear this." The crowd went silent. Roger froze, dumbfounded. The Lemon Glow brand ambassadors winked at each other. The game, folks, was well and truly on, and Queen Janelle was about to checkmate King Roger in spectacular public fashion. Roger Sterling stood frozen, his face a delightful kaleidoscope of confusion, disbelief, and dawning bowel-loosening terror. The Lemon Glow Armada, the gleaming vans, the state-of-the-art pop-up kiosk, the army of smiling brand ambassadors already handing out free samples of delicious ice-cold lemonade to an ecstatic crowd, had completely upstaged his pathetic little HOA bake sale. And now Janelle Foster, the woman he'd dismissed as filthy, the mother whose child's innocent lemonade stand he'd personally helped to terrorize, and whose spirit he'd tried to crush, stood before him, not in tears, not begging for mercy, but dressed in a lemon yellow power suit that probably cost more than his annual HOA budget, holding a microphone, and looking every inch the corporate titan she was. "Oh, Roger, you are so spectacularly screwed." "Mr. Sterling," Janelle's voice, amplified by Lemon Glow's professional sound system, boomed across the now captivated fairgrounds, drowning out the sad, tinny music from the HOA's transistor radio. "So glad you could make it to our little, impromptu product launch. We were just about to make an announcement, and I figured you, as the esteemed president of the Willow Creek Springs Homeowners Association, would want a front row seat." Her smile was dazzling and utterly terrifying. Before Roger could even stammer a coherent protest, he was currently making a sound like a strangled walrus. Janelle continued, her voice ringing with a confidence that could launch 1,000 ad campaigns. "Good morning, Willow Creek Springs. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Janelle Foster. And yes," she gestured with a flourish towards the vibrant Lemon Glow kiosk, "I am the founder and CEO of Lemon Glow Beverages International. We're thrilled to be here today to officially launch our brand new, all-natural, and utterly delicious Lily Sunshine Sparkle Lemonade line. a line inspired by and named after a very talented, very resilient young entrepreneur. She winked, and somewhere in the crowd, little Lily, sitting on the shoulders of one of Janelle's very large security personnel and sipping her own signature lemonade, beamed with pride. "Now, Mr. Sterling," Janelle said, her voice taking on a decidedly steely edge as she turned her gaze upon the trembling HOA president. "You seem surprised to see us. You were so adamant, weren't you, that unauthorized commercial activity would not be tolerated at your family-friendly, rule-abiding, fair narrator." The air quotes, folks. The sheer, delicious, dripping sarcasm. It's an art form. Well, I assure you, Lemon Glow Beverages has all the necessary city permits for this promotional event. In fact, the mayor's office was quite enthusiastic about our charitable partnership with today's fair. A significant portion of all future global proceeds from Lily's Sunshine Sparkle will be donated to national children's entrepreneurship programs and to legal aid funds for victims of, shall we say, overzealous homeowners associations. The crowd gasped. Roger Sterling looked like he might actually faint, but Janelle wasn't finished. Oh no, she was just getting to the juicy part. "And speaking of young entrepreneurs, Mr. Sterling," she continued, her voice now laced with a cold, righteous fury that made even the sun seem to dim a little. "You and your associates made quite a spectacle a few weeks ago, didn't you? You destroyed my 7-year-old daughter Lily's humble lemonade stand. You called her innocent dream filth. You used a megaphone to publicly call me a bad parent and a blight. You orchestrated a vicious online smear campaign, and your HOA, under your direct leadership, threatened me with a $20,000 fine and the forcible dismantling of what was, essentially, a child's toy." As she spoke, the large interactive video screens on the Lemon Glow kiosk, which had been displaying happy, sun-drenched images of lemon groves, suddenly flickered, and then they began to play. Crystal clear, high-definition footage from Janelle Foster's own home security cameras. There was Roger Sterling, his face contorted in a mask of petty rage, kicking over Lily's little stand. There he was, megaphone in hand, spewing his hateful, racist-tinged rhetoric. There were his cronies, dumping garbage into Janelle's pristine outdoor kitchen. There were the screenshots of the vile, defamatory Facebook posts, his name and face clearly visible as the instigator. The crowd, many of whom had perhaps even liked those posts or participated in the jeering, now watched in horrified, stunned silence. The evidence was irrefutable, undeniable, and utterly, devastatingly public. Narrator. Oh, the beautiful, high-definition horror on Roger's face as he watched his greatest hits of hate and stupidity play out on a jumbotron, set to an upbeat Lemon Glow jingle. You just can't write this stuff, folks. Or can you, Janelle, you magnificent queen? "That little lemonade stand you so bravely vanquished, Mr. Sterling," Janelle said, her voice like ice. "That was the pure, innocent, entrepreneurial spark that inspired what is now a national product line, backed by a multi-billion-dollar corporation. You didn't just smash some wood and cardboard, sir. You attacked a child's spirit. You attacked creativity. You attacked decency. And you did it all out of sheer, unadulterated, ignorant bigotry and a pathetic, desperate need to exert your minimal, and now I suspect, rapidly expiring, power. But don't you worry your little HOA president head about it, Roger," Janelle said, and that predatory smile was back, wider this time, and filled with the promise of glorious legal annihilation. "Because I believe in accountability. I believe in consequences. And so," she paused dramatically, "does my legal team." Right on cue, as if summoned by the very gods of karmic retribution, several sleek black town cars pulled up to the edge of the fairgrounds. Out stepped a phalanx of about 6 or 7 impeccably dressed, sharp-eyed individuals who looked like they ate cease-and-desist orders for breakfast and sued bullies for sport. This was Arthur Pembroke and his A-list team of corporate litigators, flown in from Los Angeles on Janelle's private jet that morning. And with them, oh, this was the cherry on top. A veritable swarm of national news reporters, photographers with flashing cameras that made Roger flinch, and TV crews from every major network, all alerted by Lemonglow's very efficient PR department about an exclusive Lemonglow CEO, Janelle Foster, confronts racist HOA bully in shocking showdown at suburban fair. Narrator. It's a media circus, folks. And guess who's the clown? Step right up, Roger. Your 15 minutes of infamy have arrived. Don't forget to smile for the cameras, sweetie. Or just keep making that strangled gurgling sound. That works too. Arthur Pembroke, looking every inch the legal titan he was, strode forward, his gaze fixed on the now visibly trembling, hyperventilating Roger Sterling. Mr. Roger Sterling, and esteemed members of the Willow Creek Springs Homeowners Association Board, his voice was a calm, arctic wind that seemed to freeze the very air. You are hereby served. His team moved with the swift, merciless efficiency of well-oiled legal machinery, distributing thick, terrifyingly official-looking legal documents to Roger and each of his equally horrified board members. This, Pembroke announced, his voice resonating for the benefit of the rolling cameras and the aghast crowd, is a multi-million-dollar lawsuit filed by our client, Ms. Janelle Foster, CEO of Lemonglow Beverages, and by Lemonglow Beverages International. The charges include, but are not limited to, defamation, slander, libel, intentional infliction of severe emotional distress, conspiracy to commit vandalism, malicious destruction of private property, violations of the Fair Housing Act, tortious interference with business prospects, and multiple flagrant breaches of fiduciary duty by the HOA board. He paused, letting the sheer weight of the accusation settle. The evidence, as you have all just witnessed a small damning sample of, is comprehensive, irrefutable, and frankly, appalling. Roger Sterling, faced with the national media, the powerhouse lawyers, the damning video evidence playing on a loop on the Lemonglow Jumbotron, and the furious, accusing stares of his former supporters and neighbors, finally, completely and utterly broke. He let out a sound that was half shriek, half sob. His eyes rolled back in his head, and he dramatically, spectacularly fainted dead away in a crumpled, pathetic heap on the grass, right next to a discarded Best Homemade Lemonade Contest flyer. His HOA cronies, Agnes Periwinkle and Bob Higgins, looked like they wished the earth would open up and swallow them whole. Narrator. And scene. Give the man an Emmy for most theatrical collapse by a disgraced suburban despot, though I doubt he'll be accepting any awards from his new residents. Perhaps a very small, very uncomfortable, federally funded one? The aftermath was swift, brutal, and oh so satisfying. The Willow Creek Springs HOA, faced with mountains of debt and public disgrace, was bankrupted and formally dissolved within months. Roger Sterling, personally liable for a huge chunk of the damages due to his direct, malicious actions, lost everything. His house, foreclosed. His savings, gone. His job as a mid-level accountant at a firm that really didn't appreciate its employees becoming national symbols of racist buffoonery, fired with extreme prejudice. That charming little video he'd posted, slandering Janelle and Lily's lemonade stand, it was now Exhibit A in his public humiliation, re-edited by internet geniuses, intercut with footage of his fainting spell at the fair, his tearful apologies, and set to a catchy Lemonglow jingle. It garnered something in the neighborhood of 45 million views under titles like, Show Karen's Husband Gets Juiced by Lemonade Queen. He became a permanent meme, a cautionary tale whispered in hushed tones at HOA meetings across the nation. Janelle Foster, with characteristic grace and vision, donated her entire multi-million-dollar settlement from the lawsuit to charity. She then established the Foster and Lily Young Entrepreneurs Academy, a nonprofit organization dedicated to teaching children, especially from underserved communities, about business, creativity, financial literacy, and the sweet, sweet taste of overcoming adversity. Its motto, dream big, start small, squeeze every last drop of justice out of life. And yes, their first and most popular course was, of course, Lemonade Stand 101, from backyard to boardroom. Former members of Roger Sterling's HOA board were naturally not invited to guest lecture. The Crestwood Springs Community Fair, under new, sane, Lemon Glow-sponsored management, became an annual highlight, famous for its Lily Sunshine Sparkle-Free Lemonade Day. Many of Janelle's neighbors, deeply ashamed of their previous silence or complicity, approached her and Lily with heartfelt apologies, becoming staunch supporters of the Young Entrepreneurs Academy and, of course, loyal Lemon Glow customers. Lily even reopened her little lemonade stand on a few sunny afternoons, and this time, the line of supportive and rather sheepish neighbors stretched around the block, her little coin jar overflowing. And what of Roger Sterling, you ask? Our final delicious glimpse of him comes months later. He's a broken man, his face etched with bitterness and regret. He's working a menial job, washing dishes in the greasy kitchen of a rundown, third-rate diner, the kind of place that probably waters down its own lemonade. The diner's small, flickering TV, mounted in a corner, is showing a rerun of Janelle Foster's incredibly popular new daytime talk show, Fresh Squeeze Life, where she inspires millions with her story and her business acumen. Roger sees her, radiant, successful, beloved. He bursts into tears, dropping a stack of greasy plates with a resounding crash, earning him a harsh, bellowed reprimand from his new, heavily tattooed, and deeply unimpressed boss. Narrator: Oh, Roger, from HOA president to Lord of the Suds. It seems karma isn't just a dish best served cold. Sometimes it's a never-ending shift scrubbing pots while your nemesis hosts a hit TV show. What a bitter aftertaste, eh? Janelle Foster, perhaps in the closing segment of her show, or at the grand opening of another branch of the Young Entrepreneurs Academy, offers the final, perfect thought. Never let anyone tell you your dreams are too small or that your passion is pollution, she says, her eyes shining with warmth and conviction. Don't judge a book by its cover, a person by their appearance, or a lemonade stand by its simplicity. Because sometimes, she smiles that brilliant, world-conquering lemon glow smile, the most unassuming beginnings can lead to the sweetest, most refreshing, and most just victories. The final shot, the bright, inviting sign of the Foster and Lily Young Entrepreneurs Academy, fresh ideas, sweet success, justice squeezed daily. And the audience, yes, the audience goes absolutely wild. Comments flood the screen. Lemonade Queen for president of everything. Roger Sterling got served a whole pitcher of karma. This is the best story ever. Justice tastes like sunshine sparkle. And you know what, folks? It absolutely does.